hearing about a false slate of Wisconsin electors in the 2020 election. While the state's real electors were casting the state's electoral votes for Joe Biden, a group of Republicans met in the state capitol at the same time to vote for Donald Trump. Their idea to leave a legal pathway open for Trump to challenge results, and the reality, those votes were meaningless. This week, the Wisconsin Elections Commission decided not to punish those electors. Now, I'm joined by the lawyer behind the complaint to the WEC, Jeff Mendel. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me a little bit about what your group was looking for in filing this complaint.
Naomi, we're looking for accountability. This is about a group of 10 people who decided that they know best, that even though 3.3 million Wisconsinites voted, a record number, and chose that President Biden would be elected, these 10 people decided that didn't matter and that they were going to try to hijack Wisconsin's role in choosing the next president of the United States. And we believe that that is improper, and we believe there needs to be accountability.
Now, ultimately, every commissioner on this 6-member bipartisan board voted on what to do with this complaint that Law Forward filed, including Bob Spindell. Spindell was one of these false electors who also cast his so-called electoral vote for Donald Trump. Why does that matter? What's your take on that?
Well, it's really shocking. I think that it is elemental to American justice that the accused does not also get to be the judge of whether the accusations are correct or whether the conduct is legal. The idea that Mr. Spindell would sit in judgment of his own conduct as a fraudulent elector is beyond the pale, and we think a violation of due process.
Talk me through a little bit of this process of how long this complaint has taken, what's gone into this, and really just a little bit of that inside baseball of what it constitutes it.
Sure. Well, the way this works is in Wisconsin, if you believe that someone has violated the law around the election code, you start by filing a complaint with the Wisconsin Elections Commission. And so that's what we did. On President's Day of 2021, more than 13 months ago, we, working with the Service Employees International Union, filed a complaint with the Wisconsin Elections Commission saying that the fraudulent electors violated the election code. It took 13 months. I don't really know why it took so long, but the Elections Commission this week said they disagree. They don't think this violated the Elections Code. I would note, though, that the Elections Commission went out of its way to say that it may very well violate a host of other laws in Wisconsin, civil and criminal, and we are working on that and trying to find accountability in those other areas as well.
Which leads me to my next and final question. What is next?
Well, I think there are a bunch of things next. We could very well appeal this ruling of the Elections Commission to a court. That is part of this process that we're allowed to do. And we can appeal the substance of the ruling. We can also appeal Mr. Spindell's participation in the ruling, because we had asked that Mr. Spindell be recused from this decision, and the Elections Commission never even answered that. When you look at the papers they issued this week, there's no discussion of the recusal. It simply says that he did participate. In addition, we continue to work with prosecutors, both at the Dane County District Attorney's Office and the Wisconsin Department of Justice, about the possibility of criminal charges, and we're considering whether there are also other civil claims to be brought outside of the election code.
Has there been any indications from the Sheriff's Office, from the DOJ, that they're going to be possibly bringing charges?
Well, there haven't been any indications that they will be bringing charges. We had initially reported all of this to the Milwaukee County District Attorney, John Chisholm, and earlier this year, he did send us a letter that pretty clearly suggested he thought that these were violations of Wisconsin criminal statutes. What he said was that as the district attorney in Milwaukee, he didn't have the proper jurisdiction to deal with all of this because the events took place in Dane County. And so we've been working with the Dane County District Attorney.
Anything else you wanted to bring up here before we close out?
No, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. When we come back, we're looking ahead to big news coming up next week.